It would be wonderful if life never tempted us, if we could go from day to day improvising and always doing the right thing. However, the world doesn't work like that. In the end, we often make mistakes or take actions that we later regret. Stoicism, in theory, is a philosophy, but in practice, it's a set of guidelines for living. The Stoics believed that life was complex and full of situations that would test us, so they created rules to help keep us on the right path. In this video, I'm going to discuss 11 historical guidelines that I've set for myself to become the best version of myself. These 11 guidelines were created by Stoic philosophers over 2,000 years ago and have been helpful to many people throughout history. I invite you to stay until the end to learn all the guidelines so you can apply them to your life. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you liked the video to help me continue spreading this philosophy. If you're not subscribed, I recommend you subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. Guideline 1. Conquer your mornings. One of the best moments in Marcus Aurelius' Meditations is the conversation he has with himself at the beginning of Book 5. He knows he has to get out of bed, but he desperately wants to stay under the warm sheets. It's easy to understand, but it's also impressive. Marcus Aurelius didn't have to get out of bed. He wasn't actually obliged to do anything. Many emperors before him had delegated their governmental tasks to focus solely on living a life of luxury. However, Marcus Aurelius forced himself not to fall into these temptations and to take care of his tasks very early in the morning because he knew that winning the morning was the key to winning the day and winning in life. He might not have heard the expression, "the early bird catches the worm," but he was well aware that a day well started was a productive day. Personally, I take 3 actions to have a productive morning. 1. Journaling. As soon as I wake up, I write down the things I have to do during the day and write a brief reflection on the previous day, where I note the things I did well and the things I did poorly to make myself aware of what I need to improve. Journaling allows me to create a habit every morning and reflect on my life. It reminds me of what I need to do and how I need to act. 2. Physical activity. You don't have to engage in intense sports. By physical activity, I mean getting moving. Go for a walk, go to the gym, go for a run, whatever you prefer, as long as it activates you physically. It wakes you up and puts your mind at ease and ready for the day. 3. Focus on work. Once I've completed the previous 2 actions, I'm ready to focus on the task at hand. Guideline 2. Focus on what is under your control. The Stoics placed great emphasis on focusing on things we can control and disregarding things we can't control. Understanding this makes us more practical and helps us waste less time worrying about things that don't deserve it. Once you grasp this concept, you'll avoid many frustrations and situations of suffering, and you'll know what's worth focusing on to achieve the goals you set for yourself. A clear example is in sports. You control how you play, but you don't control whether you win, if your opponent is respectful, or if the audience cheers for you. When you realize this and start focusing on your game instead of the external factors, you'll likely achieve better performance. Apply the same principle to all situations in your life. Guideline 3. Don't suffer for imaginary problems. In life, situations of uncertainty generate thoughts that make us suffer. This is entirely normal, but if we think carefully, most of the negative situations we imagine might occur never actually happen. In Seneca's words, we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Try to focus on the present and stay calm. Chances are that the bad things you imagine might happen won't actually occur in the end. Guideline 4. Treat success and failure the same. Marcus Aurelius had an interesting metaphor. He said that all men are like a rock he would throw up in the air and say, "It neither gains anything by going up nor loses anything going down, it remains the same rock." Whether the day starts with a promotion or ends with a layoff, you're still the same person. In fact, negative situations in life often teach us more than positive situations, so they are even more valuable. Feel gratitude for everything that happens to you, whether it's good or bad, because no matter what happens, you are still the same and can learn from any situation. Guideline 5, do only one thing every day. This guideline shouldn't be taken literally. By doing one thing every day, I mean two situations. First, for people who live without goals, it's important to focus on accomplishing one goal each day, no matter how small. Living without goals turns a potentially extraordinary life into a mediocre one. Second, for people with many goals, having big ambitions is not bad, but focus on taking one step at a time. Focusing on too many things at once can make you lose sight of what's truly important. With this guideline, I invite you to try to achieve at least one goal you set for yourself every day, whether it's something basic or very complex. Strive to achieve it. Guideline 6, don't seek the easy way. Whenever you want to achieve something, remember that there is no easy way to achieve it in life. Things that are worthwhile are achieved with effort. Think of anyone you consider successful and read their biography. You'll see that everything that person has achieved has been accomplished through hard work and discipline. In fact, that's the key to their success. Difficult paths build your character, make you learn from your mistakes, and encourage you to persevere. The difference between those who achieve great goals and those who don't is their tolerance for effort and sacrifice. Anyone can choose the easy path. That's why there are very few who consistently achieve what they set out to do. Guideline 7, ask yourself if it is necessary. Take a moment to reflect on the things you do in life and ask yourself, is what I'm doing necessary? You'll realize how many things we do and want in our lives that are entirely dispensable. How much time we waste on these things that don't really bring us anything. How do we know if what we do is necessary? Ask yourself why you do the things you do. Find a valuable reason, something worthwhile. If you can't find that valuable reason, what you're doing is unnecessary in your life. Guideline 8, love your destiny. Things don't always turn out the way we want them to, it's a fact of life. As Seneca said, fortune behaves as it pleases. His own life was proof of that. Health problems interrupted his political career, and an emperor exiled him, and he managed to return only to have the same thing happen to him again. Almost everything was out of Seneca's control. The only part that was up to him was how he decided to view those events, what he decided to do with them. He chose to see them as a good thing, he chose to use them. Life will make you live through good and bad situations, it's up to you to decide how to deal with them, whether to look for the positive side of things that happen, or to live in constant regret. Guideline 9, talk to death. The founder of Stoicism, Zeno of Citium, visited the oracle after losing all his wealth to find inspiration on what to do in the future. The oracle told him, to live a good life, you must talk to the dead, referring to reading the books of philosophers who had lived before him. Reading is an incredible tool. It gives you the ability to access the thoughts and opinions of people who lived thousands of years ago. We live in a world where every day we seek the newest things, which makes us forget about the old. There's nothing wrong with new things, but we mustn't forget the wealth of vital knowledge that's written in books. We have the power to converse with the greatest minds of the past who, with their experience, can guide us and help us in our lives. The worst thing is that millions of people in the world choose to reject this superpower. Take advantage of it. It has never been easier to access as much ancient knowledge as it is now, thanks to the internet. Guideline 10, be hard on yourself and sympathetic to others. It's important to remember that Stoics have strict rules and strong opinions about what is right and wrong. However, we also need to be understanding and forgiving toward those who have strayed from the truth. The key is that your standards are for yourself. This doesn't mean we allow people to act unjustly or wickedly, but we don't have to pass judgment on everyone who doesn't behave exactly as we want them to. In such cases, the best thing we can do is lead by example. If you want to show someone that they are acting in the wrong way, strive to act in the right way and show them. That's the best way to make an impact on someone and change their mindset. It may take some time, but sooner or later, they will start to emulate you. Guideline 11, remember that you die every day. In Seneca's words, this is our great mistake, to think that to look forward to death is to delay it. Most of death has already passed. All the time that has passed belongs to death. Death is not in the distance, it is with us right now. It is the second hand of the clock, it is the sunset. When the arrow of time moves, death continues to claim every moment that has passed. What can we do about it? The answer is to live. Live while you can, procrastinate nothing, leave nothing unfinished, and make the most of the time while it still belongs to you.